Hello, my name is Mackenzie and today we will be doing an interval workout. So, the only equipment you will need today is a chair, and then optionally you can also bring a yoga mat or any kind of padding. It's up to you. We will be on the ground a little bit today, so it's whatever your preference is. So we're going to start with a little Tabata form of warm-up, and so that's going to be 20 seconds of work followed by 10 seconds of rest. And we're going to do 4 rounds of jumping jacks and dead bugs. So jumping jacks, we're just jumping up and down. Modification, you can step out. And then our dead bugs, we're going to be on the ground, legs straight up in the air, activating the core, pulling the upper body up, and then we're going to drop opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to do that for 20 seconds. Modification, you can bend the knees and just tap one leg or the other, or another modification is you just hold, trying to hold that tension, so keeping the shoulder blades off the ground, you just hold this position. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the warm-up. Again, it's alternating jumping jacks and dead bugs, 20 seconds each one with a 10-second rest. And we'll get going in 3, 2, 1. Just a little something to get the core activated, get our heart rate up with these jumping jacks. Take it whatever pace you want. This is just the warm-up. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Nice, we get a 10-second rest, and then we're going into those dead bugs. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Here we're really trying to use our core, so this should be nice, slow, and controlled movements. It's not how many reps you get, it's about how much control you have. And rest. Okay, first round down, you kind of get the flow of things. We're going back to those jumping jacks in 3, 2, 1. Make sure on these jumping jacks you're trying to land softly on the balls of your feet. We want to use our calves and leg muscles to absorb the impact of our jump. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. Back to our dead bugs. And 3, 2, 1. Make sure you're breathing through this core exercise. This is helping us warm up the shoulders a little bit as well, getting some movement in. Make sure you're pointing the toes. And rest. We're on round 3 of 4, starting with jumping jacks again. And go. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. We only have to do jumping jacks one more time. Going into those dead bugs. And go. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Moving on to our last round. Then we're going to get into a bit of mobility, trying to get some more movement in, and jumping jacks. We'll move into mobility, just warming up the joints a little bit more, and then we'll get into our workout. 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. Last set of dead bugs. And 3, 2, 1. Really focus on engaging the core to bring those that arm and leg back up. And rest. Nice work. Let's get into a little bit of mobility. So we'll do each movement for about a minute on each side. So let's start with the world's greatest stretch. So what that's going to be is we're going to go knee hug, step it back into a runner's lunge. You can put the hands on the inside of the leg, then straighten the leg to get into that hamstring, and back up. So we'll get about a minute going through each side. So let's start. And you can either do forward or backwards lunge. It is up to you. You can get a few hip circles in at the bottom of this runner's lunge. Bring it back to get the hamstrings. And step either forward or backwards and switch legs. Back into the hamstrings. Step forward. If you want, you can get in a bit of a rotation, so you can put the opposite arm down on the ground. The arm that's on the same side as the knee, you can reach up, back in the hamstring, switch. Take this at your pace, to your depth, to your intensity. It's what your body needs to get moving today. Let's do about one more each side just to even it out. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get into a pike. So that is also just, we're going to bend at the hips, keep your legs straight. You can add a slight bend to the knees if you would like. We're just going to be down, and then we're going to bring the opposite arm to the opposite leg and rotate up and then switch. Just moving back and forth for about another minute or so. If you want, you can, so if I'm going to put my right hand on my left leg, you can bend the right knee, get into your IT band a little bit more. A couple more each side. Just like with the world's greatest stretch, you can hold one side longer than me. You can go faster, slower. It's up to you. Okay. And even it out if you need to. We're going to get into pigeon now. So you can get into a downward dog position. Bring one leg up, sweep it through. Bring it to pigeon. Make sure the knee is on the outside of the body. We don't want it down the center. We want it to be outside of the body. You can hang out here for a few seconds. Lean more to one side, the other, and switch. Going back, pushing back into downward dog, raising the opposite leg, and sweeping it through. We'll just rotate here and not hanging out in one side for too long. We want to keep a little bit of motion in this mobility. But again, take this at your own pace. We're going for about a minute. Do about one more each side. I should be finishing up. Okay. So feel free, I'm going to go through our movements for today. Feel free to stretch anything else you want during this time. But for the rest of this workout, we will be doing that Tabata format that we warmed up with. So that's 8 rounds of 20 seconds of work followed by 10 seconds of rest. If we have 2 movements, then that means we're doing each movement 4 times. So for our first Tabata, we're going to start out with high knees and the plank. So high knees, you can bring your hands up if you want just to give yourself a target, but we're just trying to get those knees above the hip crease. So we'll do that for 20 seconds. Modification, you can just march in place, or maybe you just go a little bit slower. But we want to try to keep moving for the entire 20 seconds. And then our next movement is going to be the plank position. So we're going to have our hands underneath our shoulders, or you can go on your elbows, but the same thing, you want your elbows beneath your shoulders, but hands or elbows underneath the shoulders. We're going to keep the shoulders back and down away from the ears, and we just want our body to be like a plank, just one straight line from our head to our feet. Modification for this is if you can bring the knees down. The same goes if you are on the forearms, you can bring the knees down or keep them off the ground. It's up to you. But those are our first 2 movements. So we'll go through four times each movement, and then we'll take a 1-minute break. I'll explain our next movement and we'll get right into it. So this should be very high intensity, fast paced, because it's such a short interval. So we're starting with high knees in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Really push yourself here. And 3, 2, 1. We get a 10-second rest. Then we're going right into that plank. So use this plank to try to get your breath back. So that means we are breathing the whole time. And go. Sometimes it can be hard to find your breath when you're trying to hold tension in the core, but it's really important because we're really getting the heart rate up during those high knees. We need to replenish our body with more oxygen. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was the first round. We have 3 more to go. And we're starting again with high knees in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. 10-second rest. Back to those planks. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit during these planks, you can go up, down, so down to the forearms, back up to the hands. We want to try to minimize our side-to-side movement when we do that. 3 seconds left. And rest. Halfway done, 2 more rounds. And we're going with high knees in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Make sure you're using those arms. And 3, 2, 1. Challenge yourself to go for the entire 20 seconds. It's a short duration, and you have the 10-second rest afterwards. So try to challenge yourself. Try to stick it out for those 20 seconds. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Rest. On to our last round of this set. High knees in 3, 2, 1. Get those knees a little bit higher. Last 10 seconds, can you go a little bit faster? 3, 2, 1. On to our last plank. In 3, 2, 1. And make sure if you're doing up downs that you're alternating which hand you use to go down and which one takes you up. 3 seconds left. Rest. On to our 1 minute. So our next movement, next movements are going to be side shuffle and air squats. So you need about a 5-meter distance. We're going to get down into the squat position, so that means our back nice and straight. We're sending the hips back, knees out, chest high, and we're just going to shuffle one side to the other. And you have the option, if you would like, to add in a little squat, touch the ground on either side. And then our other movement, we're just going to stay in place and we're going to air squat. So we're going to, again, keep the core nice and tight, send the hips back, knees out, chest up, and back up. We're going again in 5 seconds, starting with those side shuffles. And 3, 2, 1. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds. And we're getting into air squats. So we're really trying to fatigue the legs in this one. And 3, 2, 1. For the air squats, you can go faster, slower. It's up to you. We just want to stay moving at a constant pace. 3 seconds left. And rest. Going back to those side shuffles. In 3, 2, 1. Halfway. And make sure, if you are touching the ground, we're not bending over. We want to use our legs to lower us down. And rest. Back to those air squats. In 3, 2, 1. Just like the plank, you want to make sure that you're continuing to breathe. With the air squats, we want to get our breath back for those side shuffles. And rest. We're on a 10-second rest. Then back to side shuffles for our third round. And side shuffle. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. We're gonna have to do those one more time. And onto the squats. Really focus squeezing those glutes at the top. They're big muscles, we want to take advantage of it. And rest. On to our last round. Starting with side shuffles, and go. In the side shuffles, we want to make sure that we're staying nice and low. We don't want to come up and move over. We want to keep Nice athletic stance. And 3, 2, 1. And air squats next. We're done with this set. And air squat. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. 1 minute rest. Our next movements are going to be burpees and Superman. So burpees, I don't care how pretty it looks. Like I always say, you just need to get down on the ground and get back up again. So that can be you're stepping back, chest is touching the ground, stepping up, hop at the top, or you're jumping back, jumping up, hop, or maybe you're just stepping back into the high plank and up with a calf raise. Whatever modification that you can do for the entire 20 seconds. And then our next movement is just going to be Superman. So engaging the glute, the lower back, and just raising arms and legs off. Modification, bringing those arms in. And we're going to go with burpees in 3, 2, 1. We don't need to do a push-up at the bottom. You just need to fall on the ground and get back up. And rest. Moving on to the Superman. And up. Really focus on using the glutes to get your legs off the ground. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Back to burpees. Try to keep that pace that you did for the first round. And 3, 2, 1. A little trick for you. The wider you jump your legs out, the less work you're doing. 3, 2, 1. Back to Superman. In 3, 2, 1. Just like the planks, we really need to focus on getting our breath back while under tension here. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Halfway done with this set. 3, 2, 1. Three, 2, 1. We're going to do burpees one more time today. And Superman. Over halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Last round. And then we're going to get a little break from cardio in our next round. Over halfway. One more. Rest. last Superman. And up. Over halfway. See if you can come up a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1. Rest. 1 minute break. Grab some water. So this next round, it's going to be a true Tabata. So that means we are doing one movement 8 times. And that movement is going to be Sumo Squats. So normally for our air squats, we keep our feet about shoulder width apart. Here we're going to go about a foot wider on each side. It's really important with these Sumo Squats that we have our toes pointed slightly out and that we're really trying to send those knees out wide. And just like our regular squat, we're keeping our core nice and tight. We're going to send the hips down and use the glutes to come back up. So modification would just be not going as low in the Sumo Squat. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Get your breath here. We're not doing any cardio for this set because we have some more coming up. And rest. So again, it's just going to be Sumo Squats for these 8 rounds. And we're going again. To try to keep the chest up, try to find a point on the wall that you can watch. It's easy if you're looking down to bring the chest down, but if you're forcing yourself to look up, it's a bit easier to keep the chest up. And rest. Okay. 2 rounds down, 6 to go. And go. Halfway. So it really doesn't matter what you do with your arms. I like to bring them out front when I go down. Just a bit of a counterbalance rest. But you can keep them in at the chest. You can just leave them down by your side. It's up to you. And we're going. And rest. Halfway. Your legs should be burning at this point. Maybe feel it a little bit more in the glutes. Or the halfway mark. And go. Five seconds left. And just like any of these movements, you can go faster than me, you can go slower. It's really up to you. Just make sure whatever speed you pick, you can maintain it for the entire 20 seconds and that you're pushing yourself. And rest. 2 more rounds. And hopefully by this point, you're starting to get your breath back a little bit because we're going to hit with some more cardio coming up. Halfway. And rest. 1 more set. You should feel it in the glutes and the thighs right now. And go. Halfway, 10 seconds left. Maybe speed it up a little bit if you can. Still maintaining good form. And rest. 1 minute. So our next movement, we have 2 again. It's going to be mountain climbers and push-ups. So mountain climbers, we're in that plank position, just bringing the knees to the chest. You can step it up for a little modification. And then push-ups, we're going to go either elbows in or elbows wide. It's up to you. But it's just trying to keep the body nice straight line, coming down and back up. Modification, you can go down on your feet, up on your knees, or you can go down on your knees, up on the knees. We just want to make sure that whatever modification we choose, we are keeping a nice straight line between our head and either our knees or our feet. But we have 10 seconds. We're going to start with those mountain climbers. In 3, 2, 1. Make sure we're keeping the hips low in this, and we're keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. And with the push-ups, you can alternate too. You can go wide for one round, then elbows in for another. It is up to you. And go. When we're going wide, we're just bringing our elbows to 90 degrees. But when we bring our elbows in, then we're going chest to the floor. And rest. Back to those mountain climbers in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Shake out the shoulders. We're putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders in this one. Shake them out in between sets if you need to. And push-ups. And if you have to modify as we go, feel free. Just keep moving the entire time. Less than 10 seconds left. Rest. Halfway done. And mountain climbers. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Now back to push-ups in 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. And rest. Last round. Shake out the arms. And mountain climbers. And go. Over halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. Last set of push-ups. Then we get our minute break. And push-ups. Halfway. And rest. All right, a minute break. Our next movement is going to be jumping lunges. So we're going to start in the lunge position. We want our knee to be over our ankle. We want to push the knee out. Then we're going to spring up and switch. So it's alternating modification. We can just do walking lunges. But for either of them, you want to keep your chest nice and tall. And then our second movement is going to be side plank. So one round, you'll be one side, then you'll switch for the next round. But we want to be like 2 planes of glass, but we're going to be in between 2 planes of glass. Modification, you can drop the bottom knee, but we're just holding. So starting with those jumping lunges in 3, 2, 1. And rest. You can start on whatever side you'd like. We're going to those side planks. We want to keep the elbow under the shoulder and up. Try to raise this hip as high as you can. Halfway. In 3, 2, 1. Going back to those jumping lunges. In 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. Rest. Now make sure you go to the opposite side that you did last time. 3, 2, 1. We're just holding. Halfway. Again, trying to keep this hip as high as we can. 3, 2, 1. We're halfway done. Going back to those jumping lunges. And go. Woo. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. Back to the first side, and up. Five seconds left, and 3, 2, 1. Back to our jumping lunges for the last time. And 3, 2, 1. Ten seconds left. And rest. Last time. And 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now this next Tabata, this is going to be our last Tabata with a cardio move. Grab some water if you need it. So our first movement is going to be plank jack. So back in that plank position, and we're just hopping the feet out and in. Modification, just stepping the feet out and back in. And then we're going to be back working on those obliques with some side crunches. So you're going to have your body about a 45-degree angle. The bottom arm is going to be out. It's going to help you lift up, going to be your support. But we're just going to try to bring this elbow to meet our legs. So up like that. Really focus on squeezing those obliques to get up. Modification, just doing one leg. Okay, let's start with those plank jacks and go. Ten seconds left. Make sure we're keeping the shoulders away from the ears. And 3, 2, 1. Onto one side. And 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Back to those plank jacks now. In 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Three, 2, 1. Switch over to the other side. And 3, 2, 1. Ten seconds left. And rest. Halfway through. And plank jacks in. 3, 2, 1. Make sure that we're not bringing the hips up to do this. We want to stay nice and low. And 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Back to the first side. And go. Five seconds left. And rest. Shake out the arms. This is our last plank jacks. And go. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Last time with these side crunches. And 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. Rest. Good news, we only have 2 more Tabatas left. And we're done with cardio for today. So our first movement is just going to be a wall sit. So we want to have our feet about shoulder distance apart, find a wall, And you want to try to get your legs as close to 90 degrees as you can. And we're just going to hold it. Our second movement is going to be those tricep dips. So find the chair. The further your feet are away from the chair, the more difficult it will be. But we're just going to keep our chest nice and tall. Just going to lower down and back up. Okay. We're going to start with the wall sit. In 3, 2, 1. Just holding. Trying to catch your breath after all that cardio we just did. Just hanging out. If you need to rest, you can bend over, but try not to stand up. Try to stay in this position. 3 seconds left. And rest. Going to the tricep dips. And go. Just trying to find a pretty constant pace for these dips. Just going down to 90 degrees. We don't need to go further. 5 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Back over. And lowering down. Go. Really trying to push through your heels here, not the toes. Push through the heels. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Back over. And 3, 2, 1. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. We're halfway done. Less than 2 minutes of work left for this set. And go. You should feel like you're starting to catch your breath again. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Back over. And 3, 2, 1. Maybe see how you're feeling. See if you can maybe move your feet out slightly. 5 seconds left. Rest. Last round. And down. Your legs should be burning. We've been using them a lot today. Lots of squats. This is okay. This is the last time you have to use them. And 3, 2, 1. Last tricep dips. And 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Rest. We're on to our final Tabata, and it's just going to be abs. So what we have, 2 movements. We have straight-legged bicycles as our first movement. So hands behind the head. Make sure that we're not pulling the head though. We're just resting the hands there. Activating the core, so lifting the shoulder blades off, and we're just opposite elbow to opposite knee, but we're doing straight legs. So 1, 2, 3, like that. And then our next movement is going to be leg raises. So hands under the hips. You can bend the knees, just tap. Your head can be down, or it can be up, or you can straighten the legs. Bring them down as low as you can, and back up. Let's start with bicycles in 3, 2, 1. Over halfway. 3, 2, 1. And leg raises. In 3, 2, 1. Make sure on these leg raises that we're keeping the lower back firmly into the ground. If you feel like it's arching up, go ahead and bend the knees and just do heel taps. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, first round done. 3 more to go. And 3, 2, 1. Modification for these, you can bend the knees, do regular bicycles, rest. Back to those leg raises. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Halfway. 2 more rounds of each. And bicycles. Seconds left. Rest. And leg raises. If you feel like your hip flexors are being used a little too much, go ahead, bend the knees. Rest. Last round. Try to go for the entire 20 seconds if you haven't. If you have it going, then try to go a little bit faster. And go. Halfway. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Last 20 seconds. You can do anything for 20 seconds. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Five seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. That is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mackenzie, and you just finished an interval workout.